So I'm Rachel Breckenridge here with TCTV with head coach McMillen from the men's and women's golf team. So Coach, thank you so much for taking the time to join me.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, so we're going to kind of jump right into it.
Alrighty.
So you're approaching your 12th year being the men's and women's head golf coach.
Correct.
So can you tell us a little bit about your background and what led you to your current position?
Sure. Actually, I was a high school golf coach for 25 years, and one of the things about that is I coached high school golf and college golf at the same time on a part-time level. So that's kind of how I got into it, but all the time I was coaching high school golf, I kind of like saw college teams and always wanted to be a part of it. Didn't know that it would ever happen. Got the opportunity to do it. Coach Leipheimer recognized the importance of having golf teams on the campus, and it kind of just snowballed from there. I got a couple of recruits, and away we went. So that's kind of the story about it. But yeah, right place at the right time, I guess you could say.
Yeah, great. Can you talk a little bit about your team, in the recent past, some of the goals that you've had, as a group, and, when we hear about, Teal Golf, what do you want people to take away?
As far as a competitive goal is just to win the championship. We've always strove for the PAC championship as a team. Haven't done that yet, but had a PAC champion in Jason Thorpe a couple of years ago, so that was big for our program. To know that it's possible, we can do it. We have the facilities, we have the players to do it, so that it's big on the recruiting level. But just good student athletes, just be good kids. That's kind of what we want to be. We've been successful in the classroom on both sides, men and women. In the community, we're out there probably more participating in golf courses. Our practice facility is the public, it is the community. So we have that reputation to keep, and it's been good. People not only on the campus but in the community have been behind us, so it's been a win-win.
Great. So, as you know, since March, the pandemic has really turned the world of sports upside down in so many ways. What are some of the difficulties that not only your athletes but you have faced, as a coach, in dealing with this?
Sure. As you know, we just left campus in a hurry last year. It was just 2 months and was kind of a big shock to everybody, and now we're going through. And I think the frustrating thing about right now is they're doing it in all sports, really. They're doing it above us and below us. They're doing it at the professional level, they're doing it at the high school level, and we're just at the practice stage and we're not competing. So it's kind of frustrating in that way, but we understand it, we get it. If one sport does it, many more are going to want to do it, and why can't we do it? So, I think safety is the big key, and I think we're doing it the right way. We've gone 6 weeks now, and another 6 weeks, and we get this first semester in, and we get the academics. That's what's important. Practice time and not being able to compete, you think sometimes you're behind, sometimes you're ahead, but when you make phone calls around the country and talk to other coaches, some of them only have 3 players on campus, 3 golfers, because they're working on remotes. So maybe you're ahead of them, and then you talk to other teams. Well, we're doing this, and we're competing, and we're do it for spots. But I've kind of taken that look at maybe we don't play in the spring, so I'm kind of saving that, like the inter squad stuff, more for that. Plus, I think it's I want everybody to go through this off season thinking that I got a chance to be the number 1 golfer on this team, and I got a chance to be in the top 5. And I think if we did a lot of competing and a lot of in matchups early, they wouldn't have that. So the other thing that's frustrating is not only the competitive, but the team bonding, the travel, the eating together. We're trying to keep the men's team and the women's team apart, or sometimes we would travel together just for safety reasons.
Like you said, it's just a lot of coaches, have mentioned this, chemistry, team bonding thing. Right. It's just been, hurt in so many ways.
It's really tough.
The distancing and whatnot.
And golf was, it's all about those 4-hour trips in the van and 8-hour trips in the van, and just being together. And hey, when you're in a van, you're 2 feet away, so you get to know somebody pretty well. Yeah. And so that's kind of what we're missing right now.
And I think another thing that's probably very frustrating for you is I believe when we came to campus, you guys were supposed to have your season here in the fall.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then a couple weeks after we arrived, it unfortunately got canceled along with tennis, so it had to be rough. Yeah,
we were ready to roll. We had the uniforms, we had everything, we were ready to go. The matches, we had a schedule. Practicing hard, starting to eliminate a little bit just for spots to see who was going to play and who was going to travel. And then, that's Division III that we got shut down. So it's everybody's struggling with it, but I think it gets better. And the main thing is we're still safe, and we're 6 weeks into this. So.
gives you also something to look forward to in the spring.
Right, absolutely.
So when you're recruiting and you're looking for, a golfer for the men's and women's team, what are you looking for? And what do you want them to bring to Teal in their 4 years here?
I mean, I look for good kids, character, good students, obviously. But, I tell all the kids that visit Teal, it's a new life. You got to like the people you're around, the buildings you're in, the food you're going to eat first, to make you comfortable as a student and as an athlete. Secondly, it'd be your academics, getting good grades. The main thing is we get you a job when you get out of here, and then your sport falls in behind that. So I think everybody's going to like golf. So, and they've played it long enough and they're good enough at it. They know they like it. So, that's what I kind of look for in the kids. And if they're happy, I'm happy, and that's what they go from there. So, yeah, I just want it to be a happy marriage between Teal and that student athlete. So,
Absolutely.
that's what we look for.
And you said a season in the spring. You're projecting.
Correct.
How does that look different from previous years? Is there any kind of protocols put in place as of right now, or how does it look?
With our championship, it's usually halfway played already because we play 36 holes in this fall and 18 holes in the spring, the final. So with the championship part of things, we already know where we stand as a team going into the winter and the off season, and then we have another chance to compete in the spring. So you really don't know, where we are there. But again, that's a good thing because everybody thinks they have a chance, and that's how we're going to go into the off season. So.
And piggybacking off of the recruiting, have you been able to go recruit some high school golfers?
Yeah.
I know that high school golf, and a lot of high school sports are trying to continue with their seasons.
Right. It's been good, but it's really been interesting because some places you go, you wear a mask and the social distancing, and other places you go, or you go into another state, and it's just pretty much as normal, the way things always were. They actually. The Ohio, it's interesting. They're making you buy tickets to get in so they can monitor who's on the course with their athletes at the time, which is a good thing. Yeah. All the kids have to wear masks in the clubhouse area. A lot of rules about rakes in the bunkers and not taking the pins out and things. But they've been doing it all year, so the kids are actually good. They're comfortable with it. Parents are allowed on the golf course. And if you go through the arrangements and set it up with the states and the districts and the regions, they do allow you on as a coach. So it has been, different. It's just been, every tournament's had its own rules and regulations. So.
Well, it seems to be going well so far because it's still, progressing best
Right.
it can.
Yep.
So that's good. Well,
Yep.
Finally, from your coaching experience, you've been here for, going on your 12 years as a head coach, and previous years before that. What do you find special about Teal, and what is bringing you back for all these years?
I grew up in Greenville, actually, Rachel. I, went to Teal College, just as any student would. I just wanted to get out. I was ready to go. Coming back, I never thought it would happen. So, but it's the people, it's the Professor Millers, it's the Jack Lee Palmers, it's people like that, I think is what sells Teal, is what Teal's all about. I've always said this too, and I tell my recruits this a lot of times. You don't come back to homecoming to see a building, okay? You come back to see people, and I think that's what's important. So, but there's been other things along the way that you just see, like the dome. I never thought as a college golf coach I would have the ideal winter facility in Greenville, Pennsylvania, and I do. So it's just things like that. A lot of times everybody says, well, Teal doesn't have this, Teal doesn't have this, but to run a golf program, we have pretty much everything we need. So it's been good. It's been good for me. It's been a win-win. So.
That's great. I'm glad to hear you guys are moving forward and
Absolutely.
Some positive experiences to take away from this. So
yep. Thank you.
That's great. Well, Coach, thank you so much again for joining me, and good luck to both the men's and women's golf teams here this spring, and thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.